everybody. Welcome back to another Tuesday Night Live. I am Kat, the nurse flipper. My co-host Julian is over there beside me, Bearded Thrift. And we have two people on tonight that have never been on with us before. Below me, I have Drew, Tip of the MittFlips. And catty corner to me is Amber from Amber Resell. So thank you both for being on. I appreciate you guys coming, and I am going to let the guests introduce themselves. I know Richard had their links dropped an hour before we started, so their links are in the chat. Their links are in the description.
Thank you, Richard.
So yeah, Richard is on the ball. Richard is like my right-hand man. He's definitely on the ball, him and Mark. All right, so here is Drew, Tip of the MittFlips, to introduce himself to you guys.
Drew here, Tip of the MittFlips. I'm a full-time eBay reseller. I do primarily what's sold videos. Every once in a while, I'll do haul videos, and I would love it very much if you check out my channel and possibly subscribe.
Oh, here's Amber.
Hi, everybody. My name is Amber. My YouTube channel is Amber Resells, and I work full-time as an actuary, and I resell part-time for fun and a little bit of extra money. And if you know what an actuary is, you might assume, which is accurate, that I like numbers and I like analytics, and those things translate to my channel. So I do a lot of experiments. Like I recently did one where I listed 200 items onto Poshmark, Facebook Marketplace, and eBay at the exact same prices at the same time to see what sold where. And I've done videos recently too, where I'll dig into data about certain types of clothing items to see which brands are the best sellers. So yeah, check out my channel if you like numbers and you like analytics and data related to reselling.
Perfect. I did not know that. Now I'm learning.
Do you know what an actuary is? Usually people don't know what that is.
I have no idea what that is.
Nope.
No.
Okay, tell us what it is so we'll all know. What is it? What do you do?
Well, the textbook definition is someone who quantifies risk, which is really generic, but usually you work for an insurance company pricing insurance or doing risk analysis. So I do risk analysis for an insurance company. Yeah.
I would be very dangerous. And
there's a whole slew of exams we have to take for it. So that's the other thing people will know about the career is you have to take a bunch of exams. And I finished mine last year, so I'm done forever. Yay.
Good.
Yay. Do you guys have to do continuing education like we do as nurses?
Yeah, but it's a breeze compared to the exams. Like
that makes sense.
The exams are half your life for 10 years. And then continuing ed is 20 hours a year. You just watch some webcasts. So it's nothing.
And yeah.
All
right. Duncan, as usual, Richard beat Duncan in the chat, but Duncan was first with a question. And he said, what is your end game for reselling? Do you ever plan to retire from it, or is there no end in sight? Still flipping items at age 98 in the future.
Well, living to 98 would be goal one. But definitely it's a forever thing, but I'd like it to at some point turn to a because I want to and not a necessity. But I can't imagine, because I'm somebody that just likes to go to garage sales and thrift stores, so I can't imagine just passing up a fantastic find. I definitely won't be buying bread and butter stuff anymore. That just won't make sense because I don't need to take up the time. But just to make extra cash, I couldn't imagine ever stopping.
Yeah, and for me, I think reselling is my retirement plan, just for fun, because I love reselling. Like it gets so much excitement, especially like the adrenaline rush when you find something. It's like gambling almost, but safer than gambling. So
yes,
I think I'll do it for a long time. Actually, Kat, I remember you talking about one of your videos, actually, and I was like, yes, I say the same thing. I say the same thing.
I am such a big gambler. But now, like, I make money from the gambling instead of giving it all to the casino eventually, because I don't know when to stop then.
My family are big gamblers, and I don't know. I
grew up around it.
Yeah, same.
I mean, eventually, kind of, I would like to scale down a good bit. You know, I'm still fairly young, so I have a while to own this, and we're doing some things to go ahead and invest and get some other things rolling. But yeah, eventually, it would be more of going to yard sales when I'm older. Like, I don't know, 60, 70, 80, 90-ish. That'd be good. And only picking up super expensive stuff. And, you know, still have a business very small and ship out like once a week would be sweet.
Yeah, I probably will never stop. I've been a hustler like my whole life from middle school. So For me, though, almost like Julian said, and I'm already working towards that. I want to get those higher dollar items where I'm making $500, $600, $700, $800 in one flip. So I just need a couple a week. I would like to be able to travel. That would be nice, where I could almost like only have enough items that would fit in like an RV, you know, like, and I can go wherever I want and ship out from wherever I am. That would be fun. I'm working on my business functioning without me, though, except for buying. That's really a goal of mine. I'm training somebody new tomorrow for listing, and my mom does my cross posting, which that at some point I will probably have to train somebody else. So my mom's tired of doing that. So, but I will do that. So I would like to just buy. That's like my goal. I would like to buy and be like, here's
everything else gets
listen.
done.
Yeah, like that's the funnest part, right?
Definitely.
All right. Here's Duncan again. For sellers that have hundreds of listings on eBay and are not getting sales, what are they doing wrong? Or I guess, what do you think they're doing wrong?
They're listing the wrong stuff. Because if your numbers are that high, there should be some percentage that you're selling. And if you want to increase that percentage, you need to sell better stuff. And if that percentage is 0, then the stuff you got listed is I mean, it's either got to be long tail, like all of it's long tail, which you would know that probably by the stuff you sell, or it's to be honest, it's just no good. Not to hurt any feelings or anything, but
yeah,
you need better stuff.
I would say it could be either demand. So like you said, not listing anything that people want. It could be your pictures are garbage, but even then you're probably going to sell some stuff, even if your pictures are garbage. And then price is the other thing. Some people, I've seen their stores and they just price things so high, like you're above every other listing. So of course you're not going to sell anything. And I suppose the fourth would be if you just have like really bad stats on eBay and eBay just suppressing all your listings because you cancel, and I don't know what else you would all do, but like eBay is just not showing your store to anybody for some reason.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say if you have hundreds and you're selling absolutely nothing, then I would say that's most likely going to be what you're selling. You know, there might be, it's probably, that's really about it. I mean, even if you have something super, super good, and if it's a terrible picture, it, like Amber just said, it's most likely still going to sell. I've seen some really bad pictures, so with some pretty cool items. So, but that would probably be it. I would just, and then sometimes your shipping, if you're really messing up on your shipping bad, like putting stuff where it should be like first class, but you're sending everything priority because you don't know the difference there, like between the weights, and you're selling all low, like, you know, light things, but you're sending everything priority. Yours would, you know, that's a pretty big difference. That's like dollars that's difference there. So.
Yeah, I was laughing because I got a message earlier, and I'm not calling anybody out. And they said, I keep getting buyers asking me to send first class, and anything over $10, I need insurance. It has to be priority. And I said, no. I said, you're losing out on tons of money. Mm-hmm. Now I will at the $50 price point, I will do priority at $50. But under that, I don't. So she's changing it. So I'm interested to see if that actually works. Because one of my one-on-one coaching students, shipping was a big deal. Soon as she flipped it over, like the sales started coming in. So I think that shipping thing is a big thing. And like the issues on eBay are not as pronounced. Like you're going to see people talking about it because people talk when they're pissed off, guys. They don't talk when they're happy, right? So like the happy people are going along and having their sales and doing their thing. And then the people that have those like few instances are the ones that are the loudest and complaining. And then you're like, like scammers are they're really not. And once you get past that initial point, but I think everybody else covered it. I did have 2 people in my store reviews last night, though. One got COVID and store was closed for a couple of weeks, and she was selling a ton, and now she's not, that she turned the store back on. So I think that's the algorithm not liking you stepping away for a week or 2. And the other one was the same thing, like store closed for a little bit. So that's another thing. And I think with that, you just got to keep listing until you get back in eBay's algorithms favorable graces and just push through it. All right, Duncan. Duncan always asks this every show. If you do not watch my show, Duncan asks every week a good reselling tip from each of us.
A good reselling tip from each of you. I mean, it's the cliche stuff. You just got to increase your knowledge. It's the number one thing you can do. Even if you work in a niche, if you're passing by stuff because it's not in your niche, you're just passing by money. Recently, I acquired a big collection of piano rolls, and I knew absolutely nothing about piano rolls. And now I know a medium amount about piano rolls. Now it's something I will look at when I go someplace. How I came about doing that, gaining some knowledge. Usually you can do some YouTube videos. But what I've been doing a lot of lately is joining Facebook groups that are specific to the niche. I had done antique books before when I got a big antique book collection. You can see I'm trying to work my way through them here. And then piano rolls, because they'll be nice about it somewhat. But when you jump into a space that people know a lot more than you, it can be intimidating and they'll be somewhat snarky. But just push past that and absorb the knowledge, and you'll sell more stuff. You'll make more money.
So my tips, I'm going to give one for if I was talking to a new reseller. So like my sister and brother-in-law are starting to get into it. And for them, I tell them to like, here's some videos to watch to learn brands. But then just when you're in the store, look up sold comps. I think too many people when they're new, they just buy stuff and they don't even actually look at what it's selling for. They just think, oh, like this brand I think is a good brand, like Express. I know that when I started, I'm like, oh, Express is good. But then I look up comps now. I'm like, nah, like we're not selling that.
Right.
And then for more experienced, my tip would be to have a realistic idea of how long your death pile would take you to list, because then it puts guilt on you to like not buy so much more, or to think when you're buying more, you know, I have like a year's worth of stuff to list and this is going to add another 2 weeks or whatever. So I like to think of my death pile in time because it helps me not buy so much. So those are my tips.
My tip is always, because this was the first one when my dad started, I told him, I said, start with stuff in your house. It's my favorite tip. Start selling stuff in your house.
Julian always said that, yeah, you got
free.
to start with in your house.
You don't have to buy stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Cost of goods, zero.
And I probably should do that. And guys, even when you're a seasoned reseller, like go back through and see what you're not like. I have a Dyson fan in my room I don't use, like a Dyson that's just sitting on the nightstand.
I saw you
my
sold your
husband
GoPro
took out
back
of my death pile. Brad stole it out of my death pile. I don't know if he's watching tonight. Stole it out of my death pile, brought it in the room, and doesn't use it. So yeah. For me, I say just be consistent. I agree with Anne. I still do that when I don't have signal. Unfortunately, I still make bad buys because I'm going on my instinct, which 90% of the time I'm good. But a lot of my thrift stores, I can't get it. That's why I like Hybid, because I can research everything before I'm buying it. And yeah, just buy smart. I would say if you're wanting to build it, reinvest as much as you can. For the first year and a half, for me, I only took out what I needed to pay, like my living expenses. Everything else went back into the business. Like I got my shed, I built my inventory, and yeah, so that's what I would say. Duncan wants to know, if he goes to my mansion, eBay boot camp, do I have to share a bunk bed? So the only room left in the mansion is a bunk room, and it's only for girls, and you're not in this country, Duncan. Just saying. Just saying. So if you go, you'll have to like sleep on the lanai, which might not be horrible. You can sleep on like one of the pool deck chair things. So yeah. Yeah. So we have one bunk room left no private rooms left in the mansion, guys, for my camp. But one bunk room left, and 2 private rooms in the house I got 3 blocks away. Cami says, I bought a lot of Jerry Garcia 100% silk limited edition and collector ties. Would you sell them in a lot or a bundle or individually? And thank you, Julian. She loves her tumbler.
You're welcome, Cami.
Now I'm curious about this tumbler. If it was me, I mean, it would depend on the price. If they're $9.99 free shipping or above, I would list them individually. Because then anything above that, when you bundle, you're going to lose out on a couple bucks. That is the downside of bundling. But silk ties specifically take up no room. They easy to ship. easiest thing you could possibly ship. You can't hurt it. You throw in a poly bag, it's over with. So you could list them all individually, put them in one container, put them someplace. They don't take up any room. So with this specific item, I would do individually.
So I had to look up this brand. I've never heard of it. I know Pedro Garcia, that's a good brand to pick up, but Jerry Garcia, I haven't heard of, but looks like individually the ties sell, I don't know. There's like a range, it looks like 12 to 15 on average, which is probably enough to list them individually. And again, ties aren't going to take too long to list. So I don't know. I think you could go either way on this one, really. It's not like they're $5, so you should definitely bundle them, or they're $30, so you should definitely list them individually. $12, I feel like it's kind of in the middle. What do you think, Julian?
If I'm hurting for listings, I'm doing individually to boost that algorithm up. I'll be taking those tie pictures all day long, no problem. List them individually. But if I'm like just cruising through and say I picked up like that and a whole bunch of other things at an auction, that's all getting thrown up on as a lot together. $15 is a lot.
Good auction item.
Yeah, it would be. I might throw it up on an auction, like actual like eBay auction. I would set it to the lowest where I would be okay to take it though. To take the price, and then I would go from there.
Yeah, I have McDonald's Happy Meal toys, guys, of all things. They are listed on auction right now. They have 5 watchers and already have a bid. Because my niece is like, do you want me to list these individually? And I pay her $2 a listing. I'm like, no, lot them up. And I threw them up on auction, and I was surprised. I got a bid within a day. So I also want to say the bottom bunk just rented out, guys. There is 1 bed left in the mansion, and that is the top bunk in the Star Wars room for females only. Sorry, Duncan. 1 bed left in the mansion, guys. 1 bed left, which is amazing. And Brad was talking about cooking. He's like, I got to think of what I got to bring to cook in the mansion. He's like, how crazy does that sound? I'm going to cook in a mansion. And he's scared. He's scared. I'm forcing him to cook for 25 people, but he'll be okay. He's a good cook. Well,
percentage-wise, he's likely to have somebody enjoy it.
Right. Somebody's going to like it. And depending on how nice they are, they might all tell him they like it. I think. Am I frozen? Oh, I froze up.
You came back.
I was like, thank God, not me.
Right.
Froze up. I keep freezing. Julian, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're unfrozen. Nope, that wasn't.
Okay, it finally worked. We got a fancy new internet today, and it's like 4 times faster than the other one, but the other one didn't lock up on me like that 3 times in 2 seconds. So Richard Otnip Drop Flips, if you guys don't know, definitely follow him too. He is the main moderator on my channel and helps me out a ton. I met him. Amber, did you meet Richard while we were in Cincinnati?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure
I bet if you see a picture.
Okay. Yeah, that could definitely be.
Maybe Richard, though. I think there were a lot of people there I didn't meet. Yeah. So Amber was at the Cincinnati Reseller rally that I went to last year too. So I met Amber. But anyway, so Richard says off reselling topic, YouTube related. This is for everyone. How would you increase views to your channel?
Well, first, Amber, I knew you were going to get dragged in the comments for not knowing who Jerry Garcia is. So people are lighting you up over there.
Yeah, I know they are.
But honestly, you would have to ask these people here.
I didn't know either.
You didn't know who Jerry Garcia was?
Oh,
you should have just stayed quiet. Now they're gonna get you.
I was gonna say that, and she said it. And I was like, "Oh, I'm safe. I'm not saying nothing." I'm like, lot that up, yeah.
But yes, you'll have to ask these people here because they are about 19,500 subscribers more than I have.
So you can still talk about it. Okay.
I mean, my growth is very slow, very small. Facebook, I've tried sharing on other channels. This is my, thanks to Kat, this is my big opportunity right here.
So my biggest growth has come from a few things. So one are searchable videos. So videos that people are already looking for, and then you can make a good video on that topic and then rank high in that search. So that will bring new people in. For example, I have one like how to ship on Poshmark for beginners. And that video has been doing well, just getting consistent views and bringing people to my channel. Or I have one I'm trying to think what else, like top 10 men's jeans brands to resell. And that video is ranking too. So those kind of videos that consistently rank over time, bring new people to my channel when they're searching for a topic and they find my video. Second, and I've kind of strayed away from these, are like semi-controversial videos. So for example, when I started, I reviewed some mystery boxes. And I went into it with good intentions, but did not realize how much drama I was about to get myself into. But the good side is that the drama brought a ton of new subscribers to my channel. So yeah, I didn't go into that intentionally, but I'm now aware that if I do anything where possibly ends up me saying something negative about another channel or something, that brings views. So that's a tricky one. You don't want to mess with it, but it brought me a lot of viewers in the beginning. And then the third is if you do like collaborations with other channels, that can sometimes bring new people to both of your channels, which is nice. So yeah, those are my 3 main ways I've gotten new viewers.
To be honest with you, I actually have no idea. YouTube is such a weird place. I look at my analytics. The only thing I look at when it comes to analytics is YouTube and see which ones my big ones. Like I have some fairly large videos out there now. They have horrible retention rate. Horrible. The worst I've ever seen. The worst. So I'm like, it's not that people are sitting around for a long time watching this thing. I have no idea. The only thing I can tell you is consistency. Start and continue on doing it. Like if you do every other day, do it every other day for 3 years and continue. And you won't probably get a lot of views for the first year and a half. And you have to be okay with that, basically. But
I think that's what I should do to get more views, because I get views from the ways I've said, but if I wanted to get more views and more consistently, that's what I need to do, is be more consistent for sure. That's
yeah, and just and I stick to a schedule now. I drop every other day. Sometimes I'll mix up and drop 3 in a row, and I think I confuse YouTube that way. I don't think it's true, but in my mind, I'm messing with their heads. And but I drop every other day, 7 p.m. I've been doing it for, I don't know, Kat, how long now? A year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, and then we both did daily, and then I went to 3 times a week, and Julian went to every other day. But like, it's hard. Like doing videos daily did get more viewers and views, I think. I don't know why I have not had YouTube take a video and run with it. That guy right there had over 1 million views, probably still has over 1 million views this month. YouTube took it and ran like to the moon and back like 5 times with his video, and I'm super happy for him. I agree with Amber on the controversial, like my Mercari video went to like 40K views in the first week.
Was it like a scam video or something, or why I'm not?
They closed my account and like locked my funds, and I was pissed off. The pissed off videos. People like drama. They like the BS, and like I typically don't. Like that was way out of character for me, but I was mad, and I was going to let everybody know. So
the drama brings in the non-eBay people.
Right. Yeah. But then you got to think about like, and Julian, I think me and Julian have talked about this. Like for me, I would rather teach. I'm very, very big on teaching. I love teaching. I love hearing feedback that I'm helping people improve their store. And I've kind of come to terms with my channel might not get as many views. And I'm not putting my channel down. I'm just saying like the gearing more towards the entertainment side is definitely more popular, because you'll get a lot more non-reseller people watching just for the fun of like the thrifting or, you know, whatever. The garage sales are really big right now. Everybody loves garage sales. But I decided I really want to focus on teaching. So I would rather have like really, really like viewers that are like my viewer, you know, like my people, you know, and it might not be like a giant number, but they're mine and they're the people that I'm wanting to reach, and I'm accomplishing what I want to accomplish, which is helping people grow their businesses, even though it might not be giant.
I want
Look
to
at
highlight
Dom,
that because
prime time. I love that Julian can be at the bottom and I'm at the top reading.
Because that's true.
Definitely.
If you consistently put out bad content, though, it won't help. You have to make videos people want to see. And I agree with that. I'm going to expand on Dom's. My high dollar what solds are my highest viewed, besides my drama one. So for me, it's kind of double fold. You guys see me wanting to get more high dollar and make more money. Well, guess what? that's a good double-edged sword for me, because my most viewed videos are my $50 and up sales. So me increasing my average sales price increases how many high dollar what sold videos I can make, and in turn increases my views. So yeah. So Richard, I would say to you, I would look and see which videos are getting viewed the most, and I would try to make videos similar to that, and I would better them in some way. I'm always trying to better, like last time I did screen share, instead of them seeing my lovely face, I did it where I could zoom in on the $50 and up items and got only positive feedback from it. So I probably will change over to that way, and listen to your viewers. Ask them.
Mhm.
I ask people, ask them what they think and what they want to see. They will tell you. They will tell you for sure.
Oh, yeah.
T. Pedler wants to know, Drew, where do you live? I'm in Northeast Wisconsin.
I'm in the northern lower peninsula, the tip of the Mitt, and that is where the name comes from. There is one small town between me and the Mackinac Bridge, and then there's the UP from there.
Vicky wants to know, if you're a newbie like myself, would you recommend trying to list on more than one platform at the same time? Example, eBay and Poshmark.
I am a solo eBay lister, so I don't really have any knowledge on this. The only thing that I've branched out into recently is how I'd mentioned I'm joining these niche Facebook groups when I acquire something that's niche, and I'll just put a picture of a whole lot on the Facebook group. Say, is there any interest? Is there anybody that wants any of these things? Let me know before I start going through the work and hassle of listing it. And that's the only duel I do of any kind.
So I would say definitely start on one and get comfortable with it. And once you're comfortable, then branch out to the next one. And I don't know, I think maybe the rest of the group might give different advice, but if you're listing clothing, I would start with Poshmark, because Poshmark's super simple. It's easy to understand and get a grasp of, and easy to get to the point you feel comfortable in Poshmark. And then you can branch out to eBay after that. And again, Poshmark you should get comfortable with more quickly than eBay. But if you're not listing clothing, then I would probably start on eBay, because you're just going to have better sales on eBay than you are on Poshmark for non-clothing items. So yeah, that's my tip. And I didn't list on anything but Poshmark for a few years, just because I was taking exams and I didn't have a ton of time to do reselling. And then last year when I finished up my exams, that's when I started listing onto eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and Poshmark. And my sales have definitely improved because of that. But I still made plenty of sales just listing on Poshmark, because I was doing only clothing back then too.
Yeah, I would definitely just do one and master that one until you feel comfortable with all your systems of shipping and packing and your time and all that stuff and sourcing. Because you got to remember also, it depends how much stuff's coming in. Because in the beginning, that was my issue. It would take a lot of time to go find stuff, list it, and then it would sell. If you're doing multiple platforms, it's selling pretty fast, and you have to go get more stuff to list it. So definitely, I would master one platform, depending on whatever you're selling. Like Amber said, then pick your platform and then master that one, then move to other ones. Because cross posting, it definitely elevates a whole bunch of other stuff. It's kind of a pain, but it's good, but still a pain.
Yeah, but I mean, then you got to go and take them down. And
oh yeah,
there's added work. So I would say it depends, because some new people on eBay's only giving them 10 listings. So if you're one of those people, at that point, I would go to those other platforms, because 10 listings wouldn't get me anywhere. But like Amber said, Posh is really easy. It's the highest of the fees. It's 20% fee, but it's really easy. Facebook Marketplace is easy too. So I would say if you're limited by how many you can put on eBay, at that point, I would explore the other platforms. Otherwise, if you have enough on eBay or whatever main platform, if you have enough and you're making enough sales from that main platform, master that and then move on. But if you need more money for bills, then I would jump out earlier. I'm a person that I'm going to do whatever it takes to make the money I need to do what I need to do. So there are the right way, and then there's I'm going to hustle and make the money I need to make no matter what. But that's scary. Scary for sure. Ocean Deals. Do you schedule your listings and do you make them live all at once, or do you spread them out?
The only time I've ever scheduled is when I knew there was going to be an extended period of time where I wasn't listing. So I wanted to have some amount of listings happening throughout that. So I just banked up a couple. If I was listing, 30 in a day, I would just not list one of them and just save that as a draft. And I did that for a couple weeks. And then I just had a few available, and they weren't anything special. It was just for the algorithm. It was just to keep listings continuously going. But beyond that, I don't see a need for it.
And I never scheduled them, and maybe if I was more on top of it, or if I was full time, I was. But I feel like I have so little time that I'm just like, all right, I have a Saturday. I'm gonna list as much as I can, put it all up, and then next time I have time to list, I do the exact same thing. So I just don't think I'm organized enough, or like consistently listing the exact same times all the time, or something to be able to make a schedule work really well for me.
I list them. Yeah, I list them all at the same time. But I list a lot daily. But like you can go a couple days without listing usually, and I don't see a dip in sales. So like every third day, say like in the last 2 days, I haven't listed a lot. So tomorrow I'll know that I have to at least get up like 20. But I've never actually scheduled a listing. I usually, if it's there, I list it if it's in front of me.
Yeah, and I don't schedule either. I put them out as I do them, but I'm really sporadic. Like if I have a few minutes, like at a red light, I might put a listing up. The only ones I really pay attention to time, and I don't schedule them, I just kind of have it in my head, is the auctions that I do. I want them to end on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday night at like a pretty even hour for like both coasts. So that's the only thing I pay attention to the time. Is that Rocky Mountain Resale that I see?
Yeah, Greg.
Yay. Greg, who I've known Greg, I think I had under 500 subscribers when Greg subscribed to me. Greg has been around my channel for a long time. Greg said, Amber, I found another pair of Larry Mahan boots today. Anyone who hasn't seen Amber's cowboy boots breakdown video should check it out. Tons of info.
Thank you, Greg. That's so nice. I met Greg in person. I've flown out to Colorado a couple times to go sourcing at the outlet, and I met up with Greg my last trip there, and he's just as sweet in person as he is online.
And Greg, actually, I'm glad he sent that, because Greg is the one who calls mine and Yvonne's auction, which is tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Greg is our caller. He like calls all the bids for us, and he helps us out a lot. And I think Yvonne like pampers him with lunch or something, because Yvonne and him live close together. So Greg helps me and Yvonne every month at our live auction sale, which is tomorrow night at 6 p.m. on Yvonne's channel. So yeah, Greg is amazing. Thank you for the super chat. Here is your dolphin.
Super chat.
I actually started that video today.
Oh, everybody went.
I was saying I actually started that video today. I was watching it when I was packing orders.
Oh no, you didn't finish it. That's not good.
It was just a time thing.
Did you pause it?
Okay.
I paused it. I'm coming back. It's one of those items that I don't have knowledge in, so I was like, this is a good video for me.
Yeah, I living in Iowa and just like sourcing around my hometown, cowboy boots are like the number one thing I can find that people spend money on. So that's why I like learning about cowboy boots. And Greg's channel, he has a video specifically about like identifying style and size and the numbers inside cowboy boots. So if you guys are looking for cowboy boot videos, there's another one too.
Yeah, and his Instagram has got a lot of good knowledge dropped. So Rocky Mountain Resale on Instagram too. Like Greg drops a lot of like local pickups and flips he does. And I'm like, man, if I only like people enough to let them come to my house. I just wanted to highlight Siggy. Siggy said she is renaming me Cat China because I love my Kachina dolls so much. So that is pretty amazing. We will take it. Sunny just likes counting money. Sunny Las Vegas is another person who has been around my channel since the beginning. So Sunny, thank you so much for your support. Dom is asking Duncan if he likes donuts, but Duncan's not up here because Duncan doesn't show his face on YouTube. So maybe if Duncan showed his face on YouTube, he could. Just a thought. Anonymous, which is Miss Christie, says, what is something you wish you knew at the beginning of your reselling journey?
Ooh, so much. Just like Julian, he pounds the table on this all the time, but the ins and out of shipping. It honestly, I lost so much money on shipping in the beginning, just estimating things that I thought I knew, putting things as priority that definitely were a FedEx UPS type of scenario where it would be a $150 sale and 90% of my profits went into, sending it priority.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a big one. Know that, and then the rest of it kind of just falls into place.
Two things come to mind for me. The first is that community shares on Poshmark are pointless. And I wasted way too much of my time doing community shares because people said you should do them. And if you want to know why they're pointless, I have a video about that, and it's one of my most viewed. So you can go check that out. And I do a whole walkthrough of showing why they're pointless and they don't do any good for you. And then the other would be just realizing that my knowledge was going to increase very quickly. And so I should not buy so much at the beginning because I bought a lot of stuff and then I had to list it even when I realized that like it wasn't as good as other stuff I could find. So that would be the other thing, is just to slow down on the buying and but list what I have, and then that way as I'm learning, I'm buying at the same time.
Yeah, me personally, I would say 100%. I wish that I had found out. I don't know why it didn't dawn on me, but that golf clubs were so hot on eBay. Like it took probably a good 6 months to 8 months for somebody to like message me or something, say, hey, golf clubs sell really well on eBay.
Was it Casey?
Yeah, it was Casey, Caroline Hustle. Yep. He was like,
Yeah.
he basically messaged me and said, you're in a good town. You can make like 10 grand a week if you're really doing this correctly. And I was like, no way. And my first yard sale, I killed it. Like the biggest golf club thing I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, what am I doing buying t-shirts and trying to flip them because golf clubs are plentiful. And Kat always talks about this, kind of source what you can get. And I can get them. So I wish I would have known that earlier, because now they are kind of hard to come by because everybody knows about them. But they're still out there.
Julian.
No, not mine. But yeah, I wish I would have known that. And sporting goods in general. For some reason, I started with clothing, and there's nothing wrong selling clothing. I do much better at sporting goods because I know so much more about that stuff.
Yeah, I think that, and that comes back to the whole like source what you can find. And I say that all the time because I wholeheartedly believe it. If you wonder why I sell everything, it's because that's what I find. I don't find any one thing plentifully. Like Amber's saying, the cowboy boots, like Calvin, my first show co-host, was up in, I think, Idaho. I can't remember if it's Idaho or Iowa. But he found the vintage farmer hats, the vintage trucker hats that were worth hundreds. So it really is location dependent. I love vintage hats, but I don't find them in Florida. So, it doesn't matter what I love to sell if I can't find it, And you can look internationally. You could look internationally, actually. You could look all over the country and have it shipped. It's just that when you add shipping fees to your purchases, you got to have that room, and it can definitely add on to your buying cost and make it less profitable. So for me, I would probably say I wish I knew that I needed to organize, because I have stuff I listed when I first got back into reselling, coming up on 3 years now, that aren't marked. And I did know where it all was when I had 100 items, but now I have almost 4,000. So when I sell one of them, I'm like, So I think I need to start like looking through the older ones and pretend it's sold, see if I can find it and mark it. I need to make that like on my project list for like a few a day and figure out where they're at before they sell. And then I'm panicking. I actually had to drop ship 2 items yesterday because I could not find them. So yeah.
Oh, I wanted to answer Reselling Runner's question because it's about what I said. They asked, how do you get sales on Poshmark if you're not sharing? So to be clear, you do want to share your own listings. Sharing your own listings boosts them to the top of the search. So I call those personal shares. So sharing your own items, it'll boost it to the top of the search because every search defaults to sort by most recently shared. So definitely share your own items. It's just sharing other people's items doesn't boost it in the search. It only boosts it on the news feed, and who shops on the news feed? Like basically nobody. Everybody's searching for what they want. So don't share other people's items. Do share your own items.
Perfect. So I stay scrolled up in StreamYard. And so, like, I've only seen what's written till 8:07 right now, guys. That's all I've seen. So, like, I count on them to look. And Julian now has control. He's like Julian can click and do everything I do, which is lovely. So that when you guys say something about something we're talking about, that's how it's popping up. It's not me. It's like magic. It's great. It really feels like magic. It's so much better. I like it. Just like the super stickers that, like, if it's crazy, I can miss some. So now Julian grabs them as soon as they come in, which is lovely. And speaking of, Lisa Powell sent a $5 super sticker. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Here is your dollar. Super chat. Thank you, ma'am. And then Mary Garcia, what is your process for refuting eBay negative and neutral feedback? I got someone who clearly didn't know what she was doing. I've messaged her, but crickets.
Because of where I'm at, I have enough positive feedback. Anything where I have to contact eBay customer seller support, if I don't actually have to, I don't do it anymore. It's not worth my time. It's actually losing me money, but that's for me, not for everyone, because I can take, a few hits and it doesn't affect me in any way. But if it was for a fraudulent reason, reach out to eBay. And if it, wasn't for a legitimate reason, they will take it down. But for me, the time it takes to go through that process loses me dollars. So I just chalk it up to doing business. But I get almost no negative feedback, so I don't really have to worry about it. Humble brag.
And as I mentioned earlier, I've only been listing on eBay for a year, so I've had less time to possibly get them, and I haven't had any negatives yet. I did have one neutral, but I think I probably deserved it, so I didn't do anything about it. Basically, they said that I was selling a replica of something, and it's a category I know nothing about. So I was like, maybe I was, I don't know. So I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna argue it. It's fine. It's one neutral. So I learned to research that category more before I list it again. But
I don't really fight neutral feedback. So I just got one that said like it was okay, and I was like, it's better than bad. I'll take it. So I don't really fight the neutrals. The bad ones, there's eBay for Business on Facebook Marketplace. They are fairly good. I've actually just heard people talk about them. I've only contacted them once, but it wasn't about a neutral feedback. It was about, bad feedback. It was about something else. I have had a couple negative ones taken down by eBay where it was returned. They've said something. I contacted eBay, which they called me back, and it wasn't no big deal. I did everything that I was supposed to do, and then they removed it because it was whatever. But I've only done that like twice, but I don't fight neutrals.
I switched back to my old internet because the new fancy smancy one. But my husband was watching 8K videos before I came outside because he's like, look what it can do.
8K.
So
that's a thing.
Yeah, he's probably slowing down my internet right now. So if you're watching, get off the 8K videos so I can not get interrupted. Anyways, I went back to my old internet. For me, if I feel it is totally invalid, I will message eBay for Business on Facebook and tell them my site. I have had a couple removed that way. If it's just their opinion, they're entitled to that, whether you think it's right or wrong. And in that case, I always respond. Make sure you respond professionally. Keep it as simple as possible. Do not say what you really want to say. You can write it, but delete it. Don't hit that enter button. That's my thing. I'm like, and then I erase it all. So for me, I respond and I say, hey, look, I have free 30-day returns. I haven't heard from you. Please reach out to me. Because if a future buyer's reading that, they're going to see how you respond, and that could make or break whether they're going to buy from you. And if they're like me, I click on the negatives. I want to see what they did that people didn't like before I buy from them. If they have like, if I see like 97%, I'm kind of like, and I'll go look at like, and if the complaints are ridiculous, I kind of throw them out the window and I'll still buy, but I definitely pay attention when people have those negatives. He put it up there just because I told him it's for women only. It's for women only. They don't want to share, Duncan. I mean, they might, but I'm not getting into that. We're not having co-ed camping at the retreat. No. And like, I think your wife might not like that either, Duncan. Maybe we should ask her that. All right, here's your dolphin, Duncan.
Super chat.
All right. Kraus House, Sift, and Thrift. Have sales slowed down for you since Christmas is over, or do you not see a difference?
Actually, January is usually my best month. This year was a little less than last year, but it was still really good. And February's been strong so far as well. So I think also I just become a stronger reseller year after year. So it's a progressive. But no, I've never had a dump off into the next year. Around summer sometimes, but I'm predicting that not happening this year because I've diversified what I sell a little more. So I don't think that'll be an issue.
And my sales are extremely correlated with my listing habits, and my listing habits are sporadic. So whenever I'm listing a lot, I get a ton of sales, and whenever I'm not listing a lot, I don't get much sales. So it's hard for me to pinpoint seasonality because I am so inconsistent with. I'm not like a constant lister. I'm like, I list a bunch of stuff, don't list for a bit, list a bunch of stuff. So it's hard to derive conclusions from my listings, my sales, I guess I should say.
Yeah, mine went down a considerable. I had a really good November and December, and then January definitely was way lower, like way lower. But it was the same because I just pulled all my sales stuff from last year, and it's basically the same as last year. So it's not like I'm down in sales. It's just that's how mine goes down in January, and in February, actually, I'm doing pretty better now. Like in the last week, I've done really well. So it's going back up, but January was low for me.
Yeah, and I did amazing in December and in January. I did 20,000 both of those months. February is a little bit slower. It's geared at like 12,000, which is still higher than my $10,000 average. So I still have raised it. And that's me throwing in the high dollar items. Like I had several $3,000 sales. I had a couple of $1,000 sales. But I have noticed like the last probably week and a half, 2 weeks, it has been a little bit like my average has been a little bit lower. And I haven't had any of those high dollar sales to kind of like kick that in, you know, that overall average up. So yeah. All right. What's Richard got to say? Let's show the guests we enjoy them coming on and sharing their knowledge. Yes. Amber and Drew, thank you so much. And Julian, as always, thank you for putting up with me. What, huh? All right.
So thanks for having us on.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm happy to have you guys on. Richard wants it. I know for a fact Richard wants his dolphin. So Richard, here's your dolphin.
Super chat.
I need to like take video now that I have my SeaWorld pass and we're going to be going to SeaWorld a lot. I think I'm going to make like my own dolphin. But I don't know. I might have to get Emily Conway again to do my dolphin voice because she's who is the voice of the dolphin on my super chat. Because I don't know if I can do one. Maybe I'll have people send me like clips of themselves talking like a dolphin and I'll.
Please do that.
Yeah, like we'll show and everybody can pick like the best dolphin voice. Sandy wants to know, how long did it take each of you to get your business off of the ground?
When I started on eBay, I was actually running a full-time business, so it was on the side. But probably less than a year when I could have switched to full-time from when I started. But probably about a year and a half until I did, maybe closer to 2 years. But if you're putting in the time to learn and to source properly and all this stuff, you can actually do it quickly. You just have to do it right.
I don't know how to answer this one because if we're defining business off the ground as when I feel like I can quit my job and switch full-time reselling, I don't know if I'll ever get there. But if we're talking about when I can list items that will consistently sell quickly, and that didn't take too long because I could see sold prices. And then if I based my purchases on sold prices and, you know, I was reasonable about what I could actually get for that, then pretty quickly I was able to sell things, you know, pretty quickly after I listed them for the price I expected. So I guess it depends on how you define it. If we're talking full-time business, I'm not there and I probably won't be there for a very long time. But we're talking about quickly being able to flip items, then, you know, not too long.
If you know anything about my story, I basically like quit my job one day and was like, I'm a reseller now. I'm gonna go. And I started from a zero store, like zero everything. I had some money saved up. I was like, I got this. I can do it. And so it took probably where I was not losing money. Like I was buying a lot. And so you're not really flipping as much. You're not selling as much as you're buying in the beginning, obviously, because I don't really know what I was buying. So it took 6 months without me actually losing money like monthly. It wasn't a ton, but I was still not in the good. And then to actually where I paid myself, I think that started like 2 months ago.
Yesterday.
Yesterday I started giving myself
Hoping for
money.
sometime.
But seriously though, I really just started reinvesting everything I would pull. This is how I pay my bills. I mean, it's this everything that I make, that's how I live my life is what I make on reselling. So a little bit now on YouTube, but it basically took a really like a year and a half, probably 2 years, where I actually now can save some money, put it away, because I reinvested everything for the first 2.5 years. In the first 6 months, I wasn't making anything. I was like losing money, not losing money. I wasn't making as much as I was buying.
Right. Well, because you were growing your business.
Right.
And
yeah.
Julian and I's stories and our numbers typically are very, very similar. I think that's why, like, way back a year and a half ago when I was looking for a co-host, I felt like Julian and I had a lot in common as far as that. So, like, we both really put the money back in the business. Me, the same thing for over a year and a half, which some of that included like my sheds, which I needed for storage because I didn't want to pay monthly storage fees. And then just reinvesting into the profit until I had over 100,000 in inventory. And I think that's a relative term too, though. Like, what do you need to live on? Like, I'm used to a nurse's income, which is a pretty decent income. It's not shabby. So for me to walk away, I would need to know that I'm going to make over 6 figures a year doing whatever I'm doing, or I would not be able to live the lifestyle I live now. But depending on where you live and if you have a family and if you have kids, then you might be comfortable on 40,000, and you would hit that a lot faster than me trying to get to, 100,000 that is coming in. And I'm still not at that. But I'm hoping to be this year, because when you guys see those sales, like realistically 50% of that towards fees, shipping, supplies, I pay people to list now. So like if I have 10,000 in sales, 5,000 of that is profit. And then probably 2,500 is getting reinvested back in, which leaves 2,500 for a month, guys. So I have to have like a higher dollar from that. And then I have my other platforms. So that's why I'm always like, go. But I would say like a year and a half. Listen, Cha-ching King.
That's very good.
All right. He's making a deposit for Duncan to have the top bunk. So I don't even know what to say. All right. Here's your dolphin for Duncan's deposit.
Super chat.
You got one more right after that, but you can do it.
I thought I saw 2 more. Were there 2 more?
There's that one.
Virginia Gabbert. I am changing my... she told on herself. That's who I was chatting with earlier about the shipping. Okay, you can't blame me. I did not call you out. You just called yourself out. But that's like, I own my problems. If I make a mistake, I'm going to tell you. And I think she will see more sales. And Virginia, you'll have to keep updating all of us now, because now you put it out there. But yeah, I really think that it will make a big difference in your sales. I would expect them to double, if not triple. So just to expand, since she called herself out, like I said, she was doing priority on anything $10 or more. So a lot of people were contacting her wanting first class as an option. So I think once she gives them that option, I think her sales are going to go through the roof. So.
And then first class, you can insure first class, which is cheaper than priority.
So tell about that, because I never insure first class. So Drew, if you know a little bit about it, if you could talk about that.
Yeah, if you, I think you can do it in eBay, but I do it through pirate ship. But either way, it's a couple bucks cheaper, I think, than bumping up to priority. So that's about my threshold for first class is around $50. I'll add insurance onto it,
Okay.
50 to 75.
So maybe I should like even reconsider the whole priority thing. Is that what you're telling me? Like if I feel
I
like
would
I
at least
have to
look
ship
into
it
it.
priority?
Yeah, I mean, if it's for ease of listing and because you get to use priority boxes, that is a plus.
Right.
You know, you're saving a little bit there, but the volume you're doing, you're probably saving a ton on your shipping supplies anyways. So it would definitely be
Right.
something to consider.
Yeah, I definitely will. All right, Miss Virginia. Thank you for telling everybody who you are. I commend you for standing up and doing that. And here is your dolphin. Thank you for the super chat.
Super chat.
I see Mark up there now. Was there another one before Mark?
Nope, he is the last one.
What? You guys stop paying for Duncan's bunk bed.
Duncan's gonna have enough to come over.
He's gonna get an air mattress in the living room or something.
Yeah, we'll find you something to sleep on, Duncan. If you make the flight across the big pond,
Yeah.
we will find you somewhere to sleep in the mansion. I am saying that now. Mark also will be at my reseller retreat, guys. Mark and Richard are the two main ones. Mark does a lot over on Instagram, guys. I don't think has still made his first YouTube video. He's been telling me he's gonna for like a year now. But check out OG and Z over on Instagram. And I will say too, because Mark and his son Zoan are the two that do it together. So I love that because it reminds me of like me and Dalton and gives me hope because Zoan's quite a bit older than Dalton is. And actually we went thrifting today and Dalton picked out a nice Hawaiian shirt that is like what I would normally pick up because I sell them good. He's like, Mom, look at this. And I'm like, he's 3, like on a whole rack of clothes. He picks a really decent, and we bought it. We bought it at 3. So yeah. So Mark, I'm reading this again though. He's not saying that you get a bunk. He's saying like, go get your own mansion.
That's true.
So yeah. And I see Mary up there too. Here, Mark, thank you. Here is your dolphin.
Super chat.
Actually, you got 2 more.
You guys. Okay, so Richard will be dropping, or he can drop it now. Adventures with Victoria is another person I have been friends with since I started my channel up. Her and Johnny and Larry. I'm actually going to their little reseller get together in Jacksonville in March. That's coming up in a month. So I'm going to go hang out with them in Jax because it's only 2 hours from me. But Victoria started a reselling on Amazon Live right after mine. So Richard's going to drop that link if you guys want to check it out. Victoria's talking about reselling on, I almost said Instagram, on Amazon. I am like seeing my camera overheating, which has never happened and since I got it. So if I disappear, I might have to go old school and get my phone set up back. Just FYI, it just showed an overheating icon on my camera.
Oh, yeah, ZV1's not going to last long.
Oh, let me give, no, but it's how I have it set up with the dummy
Yeah.
battery. I've been using it for almost a year now. It shouldn't be overheating. Okay, anyways, here is Victoria's dolphin. Definitely check her out immediately following our show. Thank you, Victoria.
Super chat.
All right, I don't know. I don't know. I can go old school. I can roll old school though, I promise. But we're gonna stick with the ZV1 as long as we can. So now Mary is buying Duncan's roommate some earplugs. Thank you, Mary. Here is your dolphin for Duncan. Nope, not Duncan's earplugs. Duncan's roommate's earplugs. Here.
Super chat.
And I see Jim asked if I have a craps fetish. I almost read that as crab fetish. And if you guys know, I found like thousands of dollars of crab jewelry. But I think he's talking about when I said gambling. I'm a blackjack player. I love numbers. I'm a blackjack player through and through. I'm not like slots. I like cards and I like blackjack. So yeah. Brenda wants to know, what does long tail mean?
It just means an item that's going to take a long time to sell. And it's an item that you know is going to take a long time to sell. So it's usually collectibles is sometimes a long tail item, or very niche things where you know somebody's going to want it, and you might have the one, but you have no idea when they're going to want it. Like for me, I sell a lot of vintage electronics. And so I'm kind of waiting for someone's VCR to break or their stereo system to break, because then they just go to eBay and they go, I want that one. That's the one I have. It's the one I know. And they just buy that one. So that tends to be long tail.
Yeah. And I mean, I completely agree with that definition. And for me, like I have a second Poshmark store that's just bridesmaids dresses. And for the bridesmaids dresses are definitely long tail compared to my normal items, because I'm waiting for somebody whose bride tells them, get this color, this style from David's Bridal, and then they have to go find it, and my option is best one. So yeah, long tail, just meaning you're planning to wait longer for the sale for some reason.
Yep, that's right. Definition. One of my longest long tail items is going to be single sockets, unless they're they are
or tools. He does tools.
Yeah, impact. Yeah, it's a tool. Impact sockets. Yeah, impact socket. You got to lose it, right? And then usually it goes by series numbers.
Oh, you're talking about a single socket for the set.
Yeah. So somebody's got to lose like that certain socket for that series, and then they want that one back, like a G series Craftsman or whatever, V series or something like that. So they can they take a long time to sell, but they're so easy to ship. They're that big.
Yeah, for me, I consider like over 6 months. So some people would consider over 3 months. So I think it just depends on you. For me, like 6 months, just because of what I sell. So if I think it's going to be sitting there longer than 6 months, I would consider it long tail. So I think it's more of like a personal ching ching. Hold on. No, just $6 order. Big money, guys. Big money. Yeah, hey, it all adds up. I'm not complaining. I list them because I want to sell them. It was an offer though, so I might not sell it. Jan wants to know, do you have a niche?
I do not. I sell mostly one-offs, but sometimes you come across lots of things that kind of just force you into it. Like I acquired about somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 antique books. And so I am becoming a bookseller. It wasn't something I intended on, something I didn't have any knowledge on, but I'm learning quickly and filling up my bookshelf right here.
So I would say, I mean, my niche used to be Poshmark and clothing, and that's what my YouTube channel was about, and that's what I did. But over the last year, I've expanded to eBay Fixed Marketplace and expanded to all kinds of different categories. But if I were to just go into a store, go to a garage sale or something, and just like, what do I feel most confident in? It would be bridesmaids dresses and shoes and jeans. Yeah, bridesmaid dresses, shoes, and jeans. Those are the three that I feel pretty comfortable going through a section, and I don't have to look up too much stuff because I know the brands pretty well. So those, I guess I should say, in Iowa. Like if I go to other states, there's all of a sudden all these brands.
It's crazy, the different brands. Yeah, it really is crazy.
Yeah, definitely. But in Iowa, if I go to shoes, bridesmaid dresses, or jeans, I feel pretty confident I can pretty quickly go through them.
I would say, I mean, I sell a lot of stuff, like it's just a ton of stuff. But if I want to go like where I would be, like kind of how Amber just said, if I walk to a yard sale, what I'm most comfortable of is 100% golf clubs. And it doesn't really make good YouTube content for some reason. People don't like seeing you just shuffle through 100 golf clubs for some reason. I think it's exciting, but I would say that I know the most about that, and some fishing gear is I'm pretty knowledgeable about that too, and tools, but the other two are more profitable. for me.
Yeah, and I think my niche is always changing, which means I really don't have one. I get bored very, very easy, and that's why I've walked away from reselling multiple times. I started eBay in 1999, and I just get bored because I would do one thing. So I haven't got bored this time because I just keep changing it up. You know, I don't think I have to stick to one item, and then it like fizzles out, and I'm like, this isn't fun anymore. So mine changes all the time, and a lot of that has to do with like what can I find lots of on auctions, because like Drew saying he got all those books, I learned about scarves that way. I bought like 100. Thrifty Mullet on Instagram drove and picked up 100 pounds of scarves for me. Has never met me, and he boxed them up in these giant box. He used like 4 rolls of eBay tape, and then I learned about scarves, you know, and that's how I've learned about a lot of things. Is I find bulk buys, I find them cheap at a good price, and I teach myself. I look them up, I learn, and then if I see that like only one of that item out while I'm thrifting, I know, like I know what scarves to look for when I'm out there. And like my Kachina dolls and antique photos is another thing I really love. I can pick out which ones are going to sell good. So I have the things I'm drawn to, but I keep my eye open for profit. For me, that is the number one thing. And I'm not going to look away from anything if I can make a good profit. I might if it's like a $10 profit, but if it's a $20 or more profit, I'm probably going to still get it. Miss Caroline Hedman. Kat, when you say you send priority over $50, do you mean if the item sells for over 50 or if it costs you over 50? If it sells for over $50, I typically will put it to priority. I know we had, what was his name? Over the road thrifter. I can't remember his name. Oh, I haven't seen him in a while. He sold the glasses. Do you remember that, Julian?
Oh, yeah, he traveled around in his
his
vehicle.
big old truck.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a little bit.
He would send $200 glasses first class with no insurance, and I'm like, oh! Like I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it. So yeah, I mean, if I sell it for 50, I typically do that. Oh, I wanted to highlight this comment, and then I scrolled right past it. Here it is. Yes, I have a coat and a heater. And look, I'm in North Florida, and I know this isn't going to be cold to most of you, so don't laugh at me. But like, look at this. This is Florida. Like, so our low tonight's 37, 34 tomorrow night. Like, to a native Floridian born and raised in Florida, that is cold.
That's spring break weather.
Cold. I have a jacket and a heater in the shed.
Oh my gosh.
That's good camping weather.
I'm just not used to it. That's not the norm.
We're talking about location, whether JGB Denman asked where I'm from in Iowa.
That's Miss Georgia. What'd she ask?
She asked where am I from in Iowa, and where did I go to school? And then she said they used to live in northern and southeast Iowa. So I grew up in southwest Iowa in a tiny town of, well, I lived between 2 towns in the country. They were 300 and 700 people. So really small town, Iowa. And then I went to college at the University of Northern Iowa, which is in northeastern Iowa. And then now I live in West Des Moines, Iowa, which is suburb of the capital of Iowa. So biggest city in Iowa, and probably the best sourcing in Iowa too.
Yeah, and I think it's important, like you're saying you flew out to Colorado. I'm like that too. Like I'm going next weekend up to Birmingham, Alabama, because I have a private pick of sorts. Actually, a viewer is letting me look at her mom's estate. But I'm all about drive. I love driving, guys. Like everybody probably thinks I'm crazy, but I will, like, I've been like that since I got my license. Like me and my friends used to drive 6 hours to Panama City Beach for one day and drive 6 hours home. And I still, like, I drove 15 hours from Pennsylvania home in a day. I love driving. So I'm all about like, go.
My sister and I drove out to Denver the one time. And then I flew the other 2 times. But now I actually have, I've made a reseller friend that lives in Denver that I can stay with. So that's going to save me a lot of money. Oh yeah, and the flights from Des Moines, you can get round trip for, I mean, I think each time it's been like 180 to 220 round trip.
Oh yeah, so that's pretty cheap.
Free place to stay and a round trip flight, like yeah. And I love sourcing there. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I was laughing about the brands, because like when I went up to Cincinnati, Ohio, and we went to the like 100-mile yard sale that was in Kentucky, like I found the cool pants. We always talk about those KUHL.
Yeah.
You will not find those in Florida. I have never found one pair. And then I'm in Kentucky and I find like multiple pairs of cool pants. So that's where knowing quality, I think, comes in. Because like when I go thrift in different states, especially colder states, I don't know a lot of those brands, you know, being from Florida, but I know quality. Like I can pick out like thick, nice fabric, and then I'm like, oh, I need to look this up. So I think learning like what feels like quality is pretty important too. Yeah, I see a $4.99 super chat. Okay, Abby is Mary's daughter who loves to watch Dalton, and she loves her dolphins. So, Abby, I'm going to give you 2 dolphins. Here you go.
Super chat.
One more.
Super chat.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, I don't know if we can answer this, or let's see what everybody says. 5 top tips for winning eBay's algorithm. I've heard a few like listing daily. Like, what other guys would you guys say?
There's some that I've seen work, but I don't do, like ending and selling similar. That does work, but the way I handle my sales is I run sales on my oldest merchandise first. So if I am selling similar, then all my listings appear to be brand new. But also running sales is a good one. Just doing anything to your listings gives your listing a bump. So sometimes what I'll do is just try to trick it. I'll go in and I do promoted listing. I do 1.1 because I think I have to. I've tried to turn it off, and I think it does hurt my sales. So promoted, I think, does help. I have no proof that it does or doesn't, but I do 1.1 because I'm cheap and I don't want to give eBay any money. But you can go in
1%.
What's that?
1% or 10%?
Yeah, I do 1.1 so that I am
1.1%.
Over
the people that just put 1.
Yeah.
But sorry, I lost track of my thought there. Oh yes, you can just turn promoted listings on all your listings and turn it back off. Or you can just go in and go into your messages from your received messages and just mark as read. Things just being in the app doing things, I think, gives a bump. And all this is because I mean, eBay's not releasing the info and saying, hey, this works. This is how you get bumped up in the algorithm. But those are just things I think work.
I don't really have any too much to add. I think you touched on all the main things I would say, like promoting a listing, running a sale. And with Poshmark, I've done like experiments to see what works best. And I want to do that with eBay. I just haven't made it a priority yet to test it out on eBay, but I'd love to make those videos. Yeah, I'd love to make those videos.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It says like listing daily. How many? I mean, I have no idea. I mean, sometimes I'll list 5 a day and have really good sales, but then sometimes I'll list 10 a day and have not that good. It all kind of catches up, but everything you just said was, I don't have really that much to add. Promote.
Yeah,
sales.
I think it's consistency. So like if you list 2 a day or 5 a day, just make sure, like, if you can do it every day, I think the consistency definitely pays off. Like Drew was saying, I will go, like, if my sales are really slow, I'll go change all of my prices by 1 penny, either up or down. And just that, like, shows that I just edited 4,000 listings. And you can bulk edit them, which makes it a lot easier. I've only done that probably 3 times ever, so it's pretty rare that I am bored enough that I'm like, oh, let me go do this. But definitely sending offers to buyers too can definitely help the algorithm. And like accepting offers. If I'm having a slow sales day, I'm more likely to accept a low offer than I am on a good sales day. Because I'm like, maybe if I accept this low offer, then it'll start kicking some more. And typically it does kick more sales in after it. But if I'm having a good sales day and you send me a low offer, it's not going to work. Cha-ching king. Do you have an item sitting around you haven't listed that you know you should have? What is it and why?
I have many, but I have one in particular that's been staring at me. Like I can see it out of the corner of my eye over here. It's a Mr. Christmas ski slope. If
That's
you
a
don't
good
know,
brand.
I was gonna say if you don't know Mr. Christmas, put that in the memory banks. Mr. Christmas, buy any of it at a good price, which most of them sell above $100. So if you get it, 20, $25, that's still a good price. But I bought a new plug for it, and I've convinced myself in the back of my mind that it doesn't work. So I'm just avoiding it. And every time I do that, it ends up being fine and easy and takes me 5 minutes, and then it sells the next day. Like every time I wait, that seems to happen.
And for me, like I was on a mission to get my death pile listed. So in like October, November, I had every single thing listed except bridesmaids dresses. And I have like 180 bridesmaid dresses or something. So
That's a lot.
That
yeah,
sounds like
so
a lot.
that would be my
That's a
thing.
lot.
That would be my thing that's not listed. And it's because it just seems so daunting. Like if I had like 2, they would be listed.
Do
But I
you
have
like
so
put them
many.
on the full, like you put them on a mannequin and everything to
Yeah,
photograph
and I
them?
stain
Oof.
treat them and stuff like that. So,
No.
and I know I have a lot of
I
money sitting there. Like
couldn't do
I
it.
just sold a dress for $85 yesterday. Like I have a lot of money sitting there, but I need to, and a lot of them have tags on them. Like it's just daunting because there's so many, and I just need to break it down and just focus on like 5 or 10 at a time. So
I kind of have that also in golf clubs, but I did that purposefully. But I have been doing that. See, they're out of sight, like they're in a storage unit I have a lot of golf clubs. I probably is a good bit. But what I've been doing now, every time I go by the storage unit, if I'm going to that, there's a Salvation Army right next door. I go into the storage unit and I grab 10 golf clubs and I come home and list those 10. So I've been chopping them down, but I kind of did that anyway. I wasn't going to list them over the winter anyway because they don't really sell. I mean, they still sell, but not as good. But the ones that straight up come to mind, I have 2 really expensive Sunbeam chrome toasters from like 1950. I just have to like clean them, like wipe them down. They go for like $180. Like, oh, I gotta just go do it.
Cleaning's the worst.
They're not. I know they're not looking at me, but I can hear them screaming. I know where they are.
Mine's probably golf clubs. And not a ton, but I have some high dollar ones in this shed, and I'm not like Julian likes listing them.
Oh,
I
yeah,
do
love
not. I do not like it. And I pick them up because I know they're good money if I see them. But there's probably like 4 or 5 clubs in here worth over $100 that have been here for a while. And hey, maybe that's what I'll use training my new person tomorrow. We'll learn to do golf clubs.
That's good.
Then I'll
They're
get them
easy.
done.
I got plenty to list. Yeah.
See, they're a pain to me. Julian thinks they're easy. And like their stuff I think is so easy that everybody's like, no, it's so funny how it's different. That's why I like doing these panel shows. Like everybody looks at everything really, really different. So yeah. Christy wants to know, I know I do not. Does anyone else have any experience with lost cargo pallets?
Is that like Amazon returns?
No, so I've looked into this. I'm not gonna lie. This is the whole gambler thing, okay? And mystery boxes. Like when I was buying pallets, I'd be like, I want the one with that box. But you don't know what I want the one with that box. Like that's the deal. I don't know what's in it. What could be in it? It's like unclaimed freight. Like So lost packages from USPS. Lost luggage, stuff from the airport. It sounds really, really cool. Christy's gonna make me. I have enough stuff. I don't. But anyways, so talking about that makes me like.
There was a show on Discovery or AMC where they did that with luggage. That was, when American Pickers was popular, they were trying to find every other one they could do, and there was one specifically on lost luggage.
So I don't know if this person watches Hustle at Home Mom.
Yeah,
she just came out with a video yesterday where she bought lost luggage or lost cargo. I guess it was lost luggage actually. And she had an amazing haul, like multiple
You're not
items.
helping me, Amber.
It was. She said it was
I really
her best
don't have
ever.
room for
She said it was
cargo
her best
pallets.
ever. Yeah, she got like 20 designer items that sell for over 100 each. Some of them, like a lot of them, sell for like 500 each. It was insane. And she got them authenticated too to like confirm they were authentic. But I think that's the the outlier for sure. So I don't think you should go in
Right,
expecting
right. But
that at
then
all.
what about the 500 items that are worth $2 that
Yeah,
people just
you're right.
threw in their bag?
I never have, but it sounds super fun. I might
It
have to
really
try.
does sound fun. I think the
This is
hub's
super
outside
fun.
of Atlanta. It's probably the same amount of drive for you as me, Julian. Like
Yeah,
5,
Atlanta
6 hours.
Yeah, 6 hours to Atlanta. Yep.
Yeah, it'd probably be one of those things where pickup matters. Like to get it delivered is going to be
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
all your
Yeah,
profits.
I figured it out. I was watching a bunch of them. I'm not gonna lie, but I never bit the bullet and actually did it. Ashley Duffney, why did you get started in reselling? What was your spark?
Well, she already knows the answer. That's my sister.
Cool.
Growing up, my dad was always just a reseller, and I hated it. But he wasn't like an eBay reseller. He would just every year, twice a summer, he would have a really big garage sale, like make significant amount of money on it. But my house was just always full of junk. Just it wasn't junk. It was now it's death pile. But just growing up, I was surrounded by it. And then my aunt, she lived with us towards the end of her life. She had cancer, and she was doing a lot of this was back in the day, so it was like Yahoo auctions, that kind of stuff. So it was just always in my house, always around. And then once you catch the bug of, oh, I can take this thing that people think is junk and turn it into money in this hand. Yeah, why wouldn't I do that?
Yeah. And I grew up going to garage sales and thrift stores and auctions, like everything we bought pretty much. So I think that was like a little bit in my blood, I guess. But then at some point as an adult, I like realized I could make money off of it. And I love, the idea of having your own business on the side and be able to make money. And I love that I make the decisions and I get the results of my work versus like in a normal job, not necessarily the work you put in is what you get out of it. But with reselling and YouTube, for the most part, the work I put in is what I get out of it. So if I'm slacking and not listing, I don't get a lot of profit. But if I'm listing a lot, I get a lot of profit. If I'm coming up with unique video ideas, I get a lot of views. And if I'm not, then I don't get a lot of views. So I'd like the part of my spark of it is the input versus output that you see with the two.
My spark would have been my soon-to-be wife. I did not grow up going to yard sales. I mean, like maybe like one, and I did hate it going to the Goodwill thrift stores. Hated it. You asked me 4 years ago to go to a thrift store. I was like, I'm out. I'm not doing it.
So there's hope for Brad.
There's hope
my
for
husband's
Brad.
the same way. He's
Yeah.
never been to thrift store, I don't think.
Yeah, and she like drugged me in there, and I would sit on the sofa, and she's like, you can make money in here, and I'm a big fan of making money. And I worked a lot at my old job, and I did a lot of overtime. She's like, you can make money in here. So she showed me like a little thing. I was like, this isn't real. This is absolutely fake. There's no way this is true. So it was true. I picked up a teapot. Long story short, I bought it for like $4, flipped it for $24, sent it to Hawaii, and I was like, this is amazing. I want to do it again. And ever since then, I like 4 months later, I quit my job, and I was like, I didn't like that job in the first place. This is way nicer. And then a year after that, or 6 months after that, I got into YouTube. So it was fun.
Yeah, for me, like I said, I've been into it since like middle school, and my older brother. So my dad kind of did like me, where I have a 17-year age gap between Dalton and my daughter. My daughter is a freshman in college, and Dalton's going to start pre-K this year. And my older brother, who was over 25 years older than me, was like a flea market person. And he would buy like these U-Haul trucks full of stuff. Oh, yeah. And I mean like just stuff. And he had like a house full of like everything. Like he would buy like lighting and like just kind of like me, like everything. And it was funny because my mom would always be like, what's his next scheme? Like what? And I feel like people would say that about me because they're like, what are you doing now, Kat, at work? Like, because even though I'm a nurse, I always have a side hustle. And I was selling chickens before I was doing this. I was hatching 100 chicks a week. I had like a commercial incubator. And so, yeah, so everybody at work knows like always I'm doing something. And they're always like, what are you doing now? I think some are surprised I've like stuck at it for over 2 years this time because I get bored. So yeah, I think I was just hanging out with my brother and like watching him flip items at the flea market and getting to dig. I love digging through stuff then. And that's when I was like 12 and 13. Like, I think it's cool to find stuff in piles of what people think is trash. And it's not trash. It's not trash. Somebody else will like it. DN wants to know the pros and cons of packing up your items at the time of listing.
I've considered doing it for my large items, just so then I could, because I have a storage unit as well as my office here. So I've considered doing it for large items just so that they're done and I don't have to think about it. But there's always a possibility that something doesn't sell and then that time has been wasted. So I haven't pulled the trigger. I haven't found a need to, or I mean, I don't normally have a desire to pack things. It's just kind of something I have to do. But I haven't found a need to do it, so I haven't done that.
And I only do it for dish sets. So I've sold maybe 10 sets of dishes and I pre-pack them just because when they sell, like it's a lot of work to pack them and to make sure you have all the bubble wrap you need, the right size boxes, that you have them protected enough. And it makes it way less stressful to sell them if they're already packed. And the one time I didn't have them prepackaged is the one time something broke. So maybe there's a correlation there. Maybe there's not, but I was definitely way more rushed because I needed to get it, after work, like I need to get this packaged up and sent out versus all the other times it was already packaged. I just put a label on it and I was good to go. But other than that, I never pre-pack anything.
The only pro I can think of is kind of what Amber just said, is that it would, if you have like limited time or something where you need to take your time and you need like certain stuff and you make sure that you have it then to pre-pack it. But there's a lot of, I think personally, there's a lot of cons to it. Space is one, because if you pre-packaged a lot of things, that would be insane. Like you wouldn't be able to, like none of that would be able to be on that shelf because the boxes are much bigger. A pro would be you would know how much it weighs in the dimensions of a bigger item. I would only say that I would do it for very large items, but a little trick that I do that I actually learned from Troy, Mountain Man Treasure, is on my big items, I have like a 3-day shipping instead of I'm back down to doing like my next day shipping. So it's not as much pressure on me on that item. If it's something very large, it's 3-day shipping for me. I usually get it out the next day, but it's a good little like trick that doesn't. So if you need more bubble wrap or you need something, you can run to the store and pick it up or whatever you need.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine would be space. Like with 4,000 items listed, there's no way I would need like 3 more sheds to fit them in it if they were boxed, like, cause my stuff is like stacked in like Tetris on my shelves. I know where most of it is, but I just wouldn't have the room. And then if you get like yesterday, we had like 4 orders that were multiple orders. So in that case, you would have to go unbox what you boxed to put it in the same box unless you like tape the boxes together. So if you get multiple orders, that would be another con that I would see for it for sure. I'm going to highlight Christy Fuentes saying I'm right that they are my peeps. I know who my people are, and I'm happy with who my people are.
You have a lot of peeps, like 500 people watching. That's crazy. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, the show has
amazing.
grown immensely. Julian and I are very happy with where, I think last year at some point we were like, we need to average 100, and then we like turn around and it's 300, and we turn around again and it's 500. So thank you all for watching us and coming back every Tuesday. We really, really appreciate you coming and watching us. And this is exactly why we do it. The 4-panel, and I've been doing it for about 2 years. Julian's been with me about 1.5 years of that. He came in pretty early to the show. I think Julian had did you have less than 1,000 when we started?
I'm pretty sure I had like 35 subs, and you were like, "Hey, why don't you be my co-host?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah," because I hit all my milestones on. I'm pretty sure I hit 500, 1,000. You got me to like 10,000, and then you just got me to 20,000.
And then you passed me. And then he passed me. He flew past me.
Look what you did.
But I'm happy for him. But yeah, so Julian's been around a while, and like Singing Mermaid, I put her comment up here. She's already subbed to Amber, and now she's subbed to Drew. She loves seeing new people to watch.
Thank you.
So you guys get to see different personalities, different opinions on it, and see different channels. And we even have people on that don't have channels. I need to make Mark, actually, OG&Z, you need to come on, my friend. I've met him in person. I would love to have Mark on. And we've had a couple people on that don't have channels, which is nice. I just like to get different perspectives from it. So yeah. Lisa is saying an eBay buyer can't place a bid or make an offer. I emailed by a buyer, said she couldn't place a bid or offer. I'm going to grab this. And if you guys have something to add. So I have set up, if they have 2 non-paid items in the last year, they cannot make a bid or buy an item from me. So if you have that same thing set up and that buyer has not paid for 2 items, they're probably blocked from buying from you if you didn't like individually block them. So that would be my first take. Do you guys know of any other reason that they wouldn't be able to place a bid or make an offer?
I don't know of any other reason, but if people aren't using what Kat just said, it's something you should definitely go into your settings and turn on.
Yes.
If I could reduce it down to less, I would probably have it be if they've had 1 unpaid, because it's the bane of my existence because I do best offer on everything. But I don't know any other reason.
Anything? Anyone?
I had a couple.
That's the only thing I can think of.
A while back, they were talking about it was giving them an error. They could not purchase it. They couldn't even put it in their cart because it said I didn't ship to their address. And I had like 3
That
people.
was a glitch for a while.
Yeah, it was a while. Now, it hasn't happened in, I don't know, 3 months, but I don't know. Maybe that glitch is coming back. I have no idea. But it wouldn't let them put it in their cart or nothing. Because it said there was something. It said I would not ship to their address. I'm like, that's a lie.
The eBay glitches do tend to circle back around every once in
So
a
yeah,
while.
so it might be.
Yeah, that's like the relisting of things that you already sold, and yeah. I have this up on screen. Julian did not know I was doing this. I don't know why I did not do this earlier. He has been amazing. He has helped me so much. Mark and Richard are both dropping Julian's link to buy me a coffee. If you guys would like to show Julian some appreciation.
Thank you.
Then
so
that would be,
much.
well, I don't
people
know
have
why
bought
I
me coffee.
didn't think, like, why did it take me a year and a half to be like, oh, I should do this? I'm the one that told him to buy me a coffee, and so that is now on our list of stuff we are dropping.
Thank you so much.
There is that. Terry wants to know if anybody sells any comforters, like bedding comforters.
No, I not that I can think of. I haven't.
I haven't either.
If I did, it'd be going in a trash bag.
And I do ship them in black trash bags.
Yeah, yeah.
I double bag them in black trash bags, and I throw them on the floor or on my bed and use a background remover to remove everything. And then I'll show a close up of the print, and then I'll show a picture of it folded, and that's what I do. So yeah.
A lot of people are saying about restricted countries also.
Yeah. So maybe good point, Yvonne. Again, don't forget tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, my live sale on Yvonne Thrifty Rich. I always forget to say this stuff, guys. So I'm like, what's it called? Like,
Plug it.
I'm having word salad. I'm just like, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so maybe ask them. That would be another thing. Ask them where they live. Maybe they're from another country. If they're from this country, I would think it would probably be the non-paid would be the most likely, I feel like.
Whatever you do, if you can't.
Oh, go ahead, Drew.
If you can't solve it within eBay, don't try to solve it outside, because now you've had communication with this person. eBay will be aware of it. If they suggest, hey, I'll just PayPal you, and don't do it, you'll get flagged. It will be a ding on your account.
Yes. Adventures with Victoria. Do you guys ever do auctions on eBay? I heard they help with getting sales in the algorithm.
I actually only auction items I ever do is something that I literally do not care how much money I get for it. I just want it gone. I started at 99 cents. And I have had items sell for 99 cents, but it's when I've decided this just needs to go. Whatever I get for it is okay. And I've never had something, because at that point I'm putting things that aren't likely to be great auction items. So I haven't had a great auction, but that's my plan, is I just want it gone.
And I've done auctions for 2 reasons. One is, like Drew was saying, just to get rid of things. So I did a video where I had like 30 items that were the oldest things in my closet. They've been listed, Poshmark closet. They've been listed forever. And so I used a few different approaches to see what would work best to sell them. And one was I put everything on 99-cent auction. And if that works to sell quite a few of them. Make sure you don't have free shipping. So 99-cent auctions, not
Don't
free
do
shipping.
that.
Correct.
Yeah. And then the other times I've used it are when I have items that I just don't know what to list them for. Like I can't really figure out what to list them for. I don't want to list them too low and then they immediately sell and I think, oh crap, why did I do that?
Right.
And I don't want to list them so high and then I'm waiting forever because nobody's interested and I'm way out of market. So I've done that a couple times where, like, for example, I had like a vintage cardigan that I could only find one listed for $250. That was it. I couldn't find anything sold. And I'm like, is this person just way overpriced or is $250 actually reasonable? And then other vintage cardigans were selling for like 20 to 30. So I was like, I'm just going to start this at, I think I started at like either 80 or 90. And I'm like, if it's really worth big money, people will bid it up. And if it's not, I'll get no interest and I'll have some idea. And I got one bid for like the $90 or whatever I listed that. And I was happy with that. Like, that sounds good to me. So I've done it again. Like if I have an item that I just don't know how to price it, I'll sometimes put it out an auction.
Yeah, I do quite a few auctions on eBay, and a lot of times, some of my stuff doesn't sell. But when it doesn't sell, I relist it as buy it now. So just think that, like, if I had 30 items up and only 5 sold, I have like 25 kind of ending, and then I relist them. So that makes more generation of like, a new listing in my account. So I might have listed 5 that day, but had 5 auctions. That's really 10 items that eBay shows that I've listed because. And I've had it before where they've not sold on auction for 7 to 10 days, whatever I feel like doing that day. And they've sold immediately for a higher price on buy it now for some reason.
Yeah, within like a week, within a couple of days. I have it happen all the time. Are you still doing a lot of auctions, Julian?
I've been, no, not as much as I was because I'll just put on the stuff I've been listing now I wouldn't put them on auction. But yeah, I usually do like 10. I usually have 10 running at all times. I don't think I have 10 running now. I think a lot have ended, but.
Yeah, I did 20 last week and I like never do auctions, like less than 5%. And I put up like a bunch of vintage photographs and 4 sold, 3 of those for $50 and I paid $10. But the lowest I wanted to take was 50. I was hoping they would go like 200-300, but I'm happy with a quick like $35 profit after fees. And then the rest I have now listed them all as buy it now. So like Julian said, so those 15 that didn't sell, that was 15 new listings the next day without me doing anything. And I don't re-auction them. Like if they don't sell in the first auction, they go straight to buy it now. So yeah, definitely. And don't forget, guys, again, Adventures with Victoria is going live immediately after this for those of you. Like, I think we could probably go to like midnight and we would still hold people. But I have a 3-year-old. I got to get to bed. So Adventures with Victoria is going to talk about Amazon selling immediately following us. Every Tuesday, Victoria will be doing that. So check her out.
So, Pat, real quick,
Lisa, go ahead.
One more comment. Yeah. So I was thinking that my mistake had been I did 99 cents free shipping, but that wasn't my mistake. I did 99 cents plus shipping, but sometimes the fee was more than 99 cents. So then I lost money.
Oh, like the auction listing fee?
Yeah, the fee, like the eBay fee, because it's all based on the total, right? So sometimes it was more than 99 cents. So that was what my tip was, to don't list it at 99
paying
cents.
to get rid of your stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like list them.
I'll pay you to take this. Yeah. Lisa said, Kat, I need your advice with Etsy. I came into a ton of vintage, mostly Canon towels, really nice new. I only sell on eBay. Would you recommend me selling on Etsy? So guys, I'm less than a month into Etsy. I'm very, very new to Etsy. I will tell you what is sold on Etsy for me has been 90% the Ken Edwards Tonala pottery. And then I sold Tupperware and Longaberger. And that's all I've sold. So like, none of my vintage linens have sold on Etsy yet, where I feel like they should, but none of them have. So I would say find a good Etsy seller on YouTube and follow them, because I'm just so new at it. I'm kind of like, I'm definitely still trying to figure it out. I only have 200 listings. So I'm the newbie when it comes to Etsy. Do you guys know of anyone? Is there anyone you watch that does Etsy?
No.
Mm-mm.
See, and I found a couple I watched that I didn't feel like I clicked with, so I don't really want to like recommend them because I personally couldn't, like, I just didn't mesh with them. So if I find a good Etsy seller, or if there's a good Etsy seller in the chat, tell us. I'll be more than happy. But I don't want to talk about stuff that I don't know, because I don't know it. Amber, do you want to take this? Because I think you're more posh than the rest of us. How would you get your listings get more views on Posh if you don't share them? Or was that back when you were saying no community shares?
I don't know, but I can talk about it. Yeah. So the main, like, sharing your listings obviously is going to get them views. And if you don't want to share them, then they're just the basic things on every platform. So make sure they're priced right, make sure they're brands people are looking for. And if you're priced competitively and you have brands people are looking for, you'll still make sales even if you're not sharing. I will say that, like, with my bridesmaid store, I just kind of neglected it for a bit, and I recently just started sharing it and then got some sales. So
Right.
I know it's like the annoying thing about Poshmark because you have to put more time into it, but the nice thing about it is you have a direct way to boost your listings versus eBay. You're kind of guessing, like, okay, promoted listings probably works, listing probably works. Poshmark, it's very clear, like, share your listings, they'll get boosted. So, but other than that, it's just the normal things: price it right, have a good brand, and yeah, that's basically it. You can, I don't know, some people will go like, I guess the other tactics I've heard of, I don't really like, so I'm not going to even suggest them. I think they're hacky, and yeah, I wouldn't do them.
And why won't eBay just tell us? Like, don't they want us to just do better? Like, tell us how it.
Yeah.
This is what you can
would
do
think
to do
like
better.
everywhere would kind of tell you that.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe it's like the
but
top
no.
rated things. I mean, they tell you these are the things we want you to do.
But there's still, there's more to it. It's like
Yeah,
some
yeah, definitely.
complicated. Who knows? They probably don't even know. That's why they can't tell us.
Yeah, they have no idea.
I believe
They like created this, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's probably analytics and like all kinds of little things that go into that like you couldn't just say. Pamela wants to know, Pamela says, I would love to sign up for training, but it's too far away. Any other training you can offer? So I have my channel memberships. We do the store reviews. We do member sourcing. I have one with live shipping. I do live shipping every other Monday because that's my busiest shipping day. And I offer one-on-one private coaching. I don't really push that too much because I don't have any spots. But I just had a couple people finish, so I have that open. And you guys can email me, kat@thenurseflipper.com, if you want me to tell you more about that. You can message me and I will tell you more. That one I meant to click on and I like went flying. I am still an hour behind. Like, that seems to be the norm now, guys, just because we've got so many. I just can't do it. Oh, Julian, did your video come out today?
I have no idea. Did it?
Apparently our viewers are telling us it did. I didn't know
tell
either
me when it
till
was
3
coming
days
out.
later. Somebody told me while we were live too that mine was out. I had no clue. Now you got to go to eBay for Business and watch Julian's commercial. I have 2 on eBay for Business that I did called Oh Ship. Was yours Oh Ship too?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So now Julian has one too. That's awesome.
Let's go watch
it. Could we? Hold on.
Can you explain it? I don't know what this is. What are you talking about?
We did like a little commercial type thing for eBay for Business.
Yep, it's
like they asked you to, or you did it as a joke?
Yeah, their their marketing company came to me. I did it first, and I told them they should contact him, and they went to him.
Cool.
Yvonne saw it. Is it in both? Okay, we're gonna hold on. I know it's almost the end, but we're gonna share screen. Hold on.
You left me a message on my channel. I have not been on YouTube too much today. Probably missed that.
Hold on. Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, where did it go? Videos? 12 hours ago.
Ooh. Look at that handsome fella.
How long is this?
Selling in eBay for a couple of years, and I did
a minute.
A record player, and personally, I thought, hey, I can ship this thing. It's a little heavy, but I can package it correctly. Plenty of padding, all of that. And there was some, the needle, some of the details on there that maybe I didn't really think thoroughly. And I shipped it out. The buyer got it and it was destroyed. And looking at the packaging now and seeing the photos that they sent me, it probably wasn't the best. I'll never do that again, but I think for the best thing to do now is actually going to...
Is this theirs, not yours? But you were at the beginning of it. Did I click the wrong one? Did I click the wrong one?
Because it should be just clips of like...
Is it labels?
It all depends, because this is different than yours, because yours was like in a continuous thing, because you and Harry Tornado and all the rest of them, y'all were chopped up a good bit, remember? And so they must have done, I hope, so they did something different there, because they chopped it up in actually different videos in smaller clips.
Oh.
Yours was a one.
It was me, Josh, Danny. I don't know.
There's a lot of you.
Ours was only 2 minutes too. I tried, guys. We saw about whoever that was record mistake, though. That's kind
2 seconds, Julian.
Hey, I had 1 second.
Yes.
Julian, you were like the intro, though. They like your face. They're like, you were there.
They almost made me take that hat off. They were like, "What is that hat?" And I said, "This is the South Carolina flag." I said, "I'm repping South Carolina." And they're like, "It's okay. That sounds good." And I was like, "All right, that'll work." I was like, "Do you want me?" I said, "The bald head glares a lot." I said, "I got something on my head."
Okay, Cha-Ching King, do you remember the first item you resold?
Oh wait,
I actually do, because it still upsets me. I was, I don't know, 25 listings deep, something like that. And my girlfriend brought home a egg coddler, which is like a ceramic thing you keep your hard-boiled egg in. And she was like, "I think this is worth money." And I looked it up and it was, and I listed it and it sold within a day. And I was like, "This is ridiculous. I've been watching videos. I've been doing things. You come home with some randomness and it sells right away." But now I've picked up about 6 of those. So then you put that in the memory bank.
I've sold a few of those, and I had to look them up. I was like, what the heck is this? And I do tons of random stuff, but I did not know what an egg cobbler was, but I do.
I have to look it up too. The first item I ever sold was a pair of Mountain Hardwear hiking pants, and I sold them for way lower than I should have, but I was like new and I just wanted to make a sale. I was like dropping prices literally every day. I was dropping prices because I wanted to sell something.
Somebody buy it.
Yeah, so they sold for $12 or something like that, and I should have sold them for like 30, but I got a sale, and that was the main thing for me, was just to actually make sales and see that it was working. And then obviously I learned over time not to expect to sell something like immediately. But
mine was the teapot, and it was going to Hawaii, and I was super nervous about shipping it. And I actually went into the post office with the teapot. Kayla was with me. And I was like, "How do you ship this?" And they're like, "What?" And I was like, "I don't know how to do this." I was like, "Does it go in a box?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh my goodness, I have so much to learn." But that was it.
That's great. I don't think I've heard that part of it before.
No, I usually don't say that part. I usually leave that part out, because I literally walked in. We also did that with a very large album. I sold like this weird album, and I went in to the guy and I was like, "What do you put this in?" He was like, "A box." And I was like, "Do you got one?" He's like, "No, we don't have boxes here." And I was like, "Oh, where do I get it at?" And so there's a lot to shipping. When I say I messed up on shipping, it was a good bit.
That's funny. Mine, as far as eBay in 1999, was roses. It was old-fashioned roses. And I sold plants for years on eBay a couple of times. And it was like little rooted cuttings, in like little 2-inch pots. And I would put wet paper towels around the roots and wrap them up and put them in a box. So yeah, plants were like the first things that I sold on eBay. And another brand, I have a very extensive, like wide variety background. I owned a plant nursery for 3 years too. That was my own. And like most of our selling was done on eBay, but we also had a storefront. So yeah, that photographer. I think Patty's trying to bunk with Duncan, maybe. I don't know what's going on. But so picking the 603, how big is the top bunk? So there are 2 top bunks still available. There's 1 top bunk left in the mansion. It's, I believe, both of them are full size. They're full on top of full. They're big bunks. But there's also 2 private rooms left in the second house as well still. So yeah. Duncan, sleeping by the pool would probably be like, I might sleep by the pool. Like, I don't think that'd be bad in Florida in April.
Yeah, be
I
good.
don't think that would be uncomfortable. You could sleep in the pool, but you would be wrinkled. Unless
a
you're on
little
a
hammock?
float. Unless you're on a float. Oh, a hammock. Yeah.
100%.
We'll get you a hammock. We'll find you somewhere to sleep, Duncan. I'm scrolling. There's a lot of chat. Still 500, over 500 in the chat. So definitely you guys hit the thumbs up if you have not. Cha-Ching King wants to know, what do each of us have coming up that we are looking forward to?
Whew. Well, I live in the Great White North, so I'm looking forward to warm weather, garage sale season, but that's, for me, 2 months further ahead than most people. So this time of year is death pile season for me. But definitely looking forward to this year's garage sales. I'm going to expand my sourcing circle of how far away I go, and maybe even rent a hotel, go to bigger cities, because I live in a very small town surrounded by very small towns. So I think sourcing is going to be more of an adventure this summer. So I'm looking forward to that.
Amber?
Yeah, and I would say pretty much the same thing. Garage sales I'm always looking forward to. And but in the meantime, exactly what Drew said, got to get my death pile listed. And like I said, I did have it dwindled down, but it's piled up again. And then my mom and I, last time we went to Denver, she and I went together, and she loves thrifting, and she's excited to go on another thrifting trip together. But I think we're gonna try somewhere else. Maybe Austin, Texas is the top of our list right now. Fly there for a weekend and go to their Goodwill outlet. And so I'm looking forward to going somewhere with my mom.
Perfect. Julian?
Well, I get married. I get married in March, February, March. Yeah, so it's next month. Then we're going right on the honeymoon, so we'll be gone for a little bit. And then I have another vacation coming up in May, so that's non-reselling stuff. So that's fun. And then warm weather. It is freezing down here. I cannot wait until it warms up. Like, I'm tired of the cold and yard sales.
Oh, sorry. And we have yard sales year round here, so I cannot take that answer. But I am going to Birmingham next weekend to see Miss Melanie's mom stuff. I'm really, really excited about that. And then in March, I'm going to go see Julian after he gets married and has his honeymoon. I will see Julian and Kayla again. I met them both last year. And then after that, I'm driving up to Pennsylvania, and I will see my BFF, Dale, and hopefully Dagny and Jocelyn. Jocelyn, I think, will be very pregnant then, because she announced she's pregnant. So not sure if I'll get to meet up with Jocelyn in Pennsylvania this time. And then, of course, in April, Nurse Flipper Camp. But I think I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited about meeting everybody. So I am making a trip like every month. So this month, Birmingham, next month, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and Pennsylvania. April is here, but that's going to be a fun trip.
Oh, yeah.
To answer your question, yes. So the reason I do reselling, guys, somebody asked about the what sparks you. Like, Dalton is my reason. I lost 3 babies before him, and I cherish every minute I get with him. I want to be home as much as I can. So like today, he went thrifting with me. He went to pick up my glasses. Like, everywhere I can go. He's going with me to Birmingham, Alabama. He goes everywhere. Julian saw, he goes in the thrift stores everywhere I am. Dalton is. Very, very rarely will you see me without Dalton. Like my Cincinnati trip last year was the one trip that I took without Dalton. But yeah, so Dalton will be there. My 20-year-old daughter will be there. My mom will be there. Brad's mom will be there. This is going to be like a family reunion / eBay retreat. Miss Donella wants to know, I have a ton of jewelry. What's the best way to photograph, and what package should I use to ship? Would the cheapy costume jewelry sell better in a bunch instead of individually? Does anybody but me sell jewelry before I answer this? No.
Nope.
Okay. No. So the best way to photograph for me, I found, is a little tiny 12 by 12 light box. I love it because I sit it on my lap while I'm watching football, and I list jewelry, and it's amazing as far as the light. I found the little 12 by 12 works way better than a bigger one because it's kind of concentrated on it. And they have a little flap at the top where you can shoot straight down on the jewelry. And then I put my jewelry into a cardboard jewelry box and then put them into a bubble mailer. And I sell almost all of my jewelry individually because I don't really source pieces that wouldn't sell good by themselves. But like you could sell it as like junk lot or like estate jewelry or something like that. And that's another item that I would auction if it were me, would be like a bunch of jewelry, started at the least you're willing to take. And then if perhaps you miss something good, I bet there's a lot of jewelry people sourcing that way. And if there's something good, you only need 2 of them to see it, and it could go way, way up, way, way up. We're almost done. I quit doing the quick fire round because we don't make it to the end anymore ever. I just have had to accept that. I right now I'm at 9:06 p.m. So you guys know where I'm at in the chat.
You made it through 1 hour at least.
It's not bad.
I did. In the last couple weeks, I think I only made it through 45 minutes. Yeah.
People just got to get with those
Laura
super
wants
chats.
to know, Julian, your favorite tools to sell.
So many, but the ones that sell the fastest are the large snap-on wrenches, like the big ones, like ones about that big. Anything over an inch, like they sell very good, always $30, $40, $50. And then snap-on impacts, like deep sockets, always sell out, and they actually sell for $40, $50. And that's like one socket going for $40, $50. And then little baby snap-on wrenches that are deep sockets. If you can find like a fistful of those, each one of those will usually sell between $10 to $15.
So I actually agree on this.
Julian and Leroy, Blood Sweat Cell, who was in the chat too.
He destroys me.
They got me into tools. I bought like a Craftsman tool chest off of Facebook Marketplace that had a set of Mac tools in it that sold for like $350. So I sold like one tiny piece of what was in that and like was in the profit. And then I pulled out some other tools and then I sold the box with the remaining for another $250. So I made like probably like $800 or $900 off that tool chest. But that's like not my thing. So I don't search for them. But if I walk in an estate sale and they have a whole box full and I could be like, how much for that whole box? I would do it again.
So I only have one experience with tools, but it lines up exactly with what Julian said. So I have 4 sisters, and my dad, like when I was getting married, he's like, I gave everybody $500 towards a wedding dress. And he hands me like a plastic sack with tools in it. He's like, here's your $500. And they were all snap-on tools. And they sold for right around $500 in total. So
that's funny. That's great though.
Yeah.
That's what I should do to my kids. Like, here's your money for your laptop.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's perfect.
I know this will sell. Put in the work.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that is great. That is so great. I love it. Julia Lee, where is the camp being held, and do you have openings for class attendance only? The camp is being held at a mansion just outside of Orlando, Florida. And yes, I do have a few class only spots left. And so if you want to get a hotel, or I have a couple people that have family in Orlando and you don't want to stay in the rowdiness. I don't think it's going to be rowdy. I don't know why I just said that. I mean, it might be.
Who knows? Yeah.
We don't know. It's the first one. I don't know what's going to happen.
Duncan's in the pool.
So I do have class only spots. And then I have 2 private rooms left where you can do just the classes. And the classes include lunch. So it'll be classes all day and it includes your lunch. Question for Amber. I don't know if you saw this in the chat. Did you go to University of Iowa, and where are you at in the state?
I answered that one while we were.
You read it to me. That's Miss Georgia. Yeah. Perfect. Julian, did you see this one from Gina? Are you able to recommend some of yours or others' videos for learning how to sell golf clubs? One of your watchers was asking in here earlier. So in case they're still watching.
I do have 2 on my channel, and I try to drop a link, but I can't drop a link on my cell phone for some reason. I don't know. I don't know how to figure that out. But there are 2 on my channel that are specific to like Golf Club 101. And then I do have a shipping golf clubs video. That's actually, all of those are pretty, they're like in my top 15 videos. So if you just hit,
I think because they're like so specific, you're teaching about them. Richard, I took my jacket off. Are you proud? I took my jacket off. Okay. My favorite find, should I buy 160 bells for $100? Unless they're fitting hand painted, I would say no. That's like Avon bottles.
If they're
Bells
brass,
don't sell very
yes.
well. What, huh, Drew?
If you're talking
Sorry.
about like real like brass bells, then I would say yes.
No, I'm thinking they
decorative?
mean like, yeah.
Like
I don't
knick-knacky?
have any because I don't buy them.
Right, yeah, I'd pass on that.
Yeah, the only ones I pick up are like the hand painted Finnan ones, and those do. Marsha wants to know. Okay, Richard, I'll give you a second, Dolphin. I'm behind. Dalton's dentist appointment went amazing. So the dentist thinks like there's something with the structure of his tooth. He had laughing gas, and he did great, guys. He did great. The dentist is like, I'm impressed. I can't normally get a 3-year-old to sit there, but she tried because to get him sedated for it would be $2,000. And I'm very happy for multiple reasons. And he told me, Mom, I'm getting so brave. So I'm trying not to be as like super protective of him, which is my tendency because I lost babies before him, because I don't want to make him so overly, cautious. But it's hard, but I'm trying not to. Like, I'm trying to let him fall, and it's hard. My older two, I'm like, go eat some dirt. But after losing babies, like after losing them, it's like you're on edge. Richard wants a second Dolphin because I gave somebody else one. So Richard, because of how much you helped me here, it's the second.
Super chat.
This is a good question, and I'd like to get everybody's answer to this. And I'll answer for Florida and Pennsylvania, but like, can you guys say price differences from like where you're at to other states? Like, have you noticed in traveling, like price differences between where you're at and places you've went?
Not from traveling, but just from watching other reseller videos. I've noticed certain items are cheaper in certain areas, but definitely the things you can get in different areas are way, way different. A friend of mine, he moved to Salt Lake City, Utah, and he started a YouTube channel. He was like one video in, and he went to his thrift store and was just pulling bows off of the shelf and putting them in his cart. And I'm like, I find like one bow system a year, and you went to a random thrift store and pulled multiple. And he ended up he only put 2 videos out, and I think he just was over it, too much work, or was making too much money on eBay. But he was just coming out with mounted carts of things that would take me a week to find. So as far as price, a little bit, but what you can find is very different.
So in most of my travel, I mean, I've gone to Denver the most, and I always go to the outlet. So it's not that much different in price. It's, I don't know, around $2 a pound. In Des Moines, it's similar. So definitely not too much of a difference. And then thrift stores themselves, just like here, it seems to depend on which one I go to. Like, we have some stores around here that are super overpriced and some that aren't. I will say it seems like other areas have more sales in their Goodwills and Salvation Armies, like $1 a day or something like that. And I don't have anything like that here. But on the other hand, I feel like our garage sales are way better than some states are. And yeah, so I'm like thankful that at least our garage sales are really good around here versus other states. It does not look like they're as good.
Yeah, my Goodwills are actually, I would say, one of the, just by watch, because I don't really travel anywhere but the Southeast, but just watching other people, we have the cheapest Goodwills around. We don't have like Savers or any of the other like thrift stores. We only have Goodwill and like 2 Salvation Armies. Goodwill basically owns this place. I mean, that we have very even few like mom and pops, as you saw, Kat. We have a couple, but they're actually more high priced than the Goodwills because
I have to go to that one though. Remember that one that was like 20 minutes from Myrtle Beach that I found the Masters belt for $1? I sold that for like $75. I found a ton of good stuff at that one. It was like a Mission thrift store. Hopefully I can find it again. I'm hoping.
Yeah, that's out. We're going to Conway, I think tomorrow or the next day. So we'll be out there.
Is that Conway?
Yep, we'll be out there near that one. So we'll hit that one up. But we have like good prices here. Like, shoes are still, it's very weird that we find shoes that are, the other day I was watching somebody, their shoes were $25, and they very rarely will have shoes more than, they don't. I mean, their shoes are $7. I bought boots today that are snow boots, like that click into a skis, like Solomon snow boots, and they bring them up as boots. They're like $100, like pair of boots and stuff. So they don't really price their shoes high or any other clothing item. really anything, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. It's still pretty cheap.
So, like, I don't feel like it's a price difference, but like Drew said, I feel like Pennsylvania is full of all this glass and antiques that in Florida I would never find at a thrift store ever. Like I would only find them at estate sales and especially online sales. So there was a ton of like vintage and antique that I don't see at my thrift store. And I absolutely love that. Like the big one that like Dagny and Jocelyn always go to is like color coded. So it's like all this different colors of glass in a Goodwill. And like you would never, like, you don't see that here. So I feel like it's more like different items. And I felt like the garage sales kind of all over. I didn't go to any garage sales in Pennsylvania, but I went in like Kentucky and Cincinnati when I was there. And then the thrifts in Myrtle Beach, like Julian said, those are priced low for sure. Pennsylvania, though, I think it's probably even with like what I would find at antique malls here, but you can find it at Goodwill. So it would be a little bit cheaper because I have to go to an antique mall to find it. Sonny, I'm assuming you mean the Uber driver, meaning the U-Ship driver. And the title of my thumbnail, I'm going to call you out right now. The title of my thumbnail from yesterday was I had to cancel a $2,600 order. And that would be that order. The U-Ship driver, basically, whether it was overbooking, which I think is more likely, somebody else said there was a snowstorm in Texas, but I think even without a snowstorm, this driver wouldn't have made it. So he promised to be here by yesterday. And when I talked to him 2 days before, he said, I still have to go to New Orleans, Chicago, Atlanta, and then I'm coming to you. And I'm like, there's no way he's going to be here in 3 days. And my buyer said, if it is not here by the 17th, I am canceling. So I chose to cancel before I let that U-Ship driver come pick it up for $500 and it be halfway to California and they want to cancel. Because then I'd be out my 500 one way and I'd have to pay 500 to get it back. So I made the hard decision to cancel a $2,600 sale, but I think it was the best decision for me as far as that. So yeah. All right. Let's see. Let's find one more question and then we'll get out of here because we are already late. I don't have to work because I don't work every other Wednesday. So tonight is not one of my, I have to be up at
It's not a
5
school
o'clock
night.
in the morning. Not a school night. It's not a school night.
Yeah.
I don't have a job.
Me neither.
It doesn't feel like a job, like the whole reselling. I have to highlight this. I have to highlight this because she tagged me in Dominic's Primetime Treasure Hunter. So Lori did my live sourcing, which is my $9.99 membership. And she sold a brooch for $350 that she paid $90 for the whole lot. And she messaged me saying, I was going to price it at $150. It's missing a couple stones. I said, are there any other ones listed? Because she saw that ones had sold for $350 in the past without missing stones. And she said, no, none are listed. I said, price it at $350 and it's sold in a day. So
Amazing.
absolute. I love when that stuff happens. I'm looking. I'm actually almost to the end. If I skipped your question, I'm sorry. I just know that I can't read them all anymore. So yeah. Oh, Cha-Ching King wants to know if he sent you a copy of his book.
No, I just messaged him. I'm going to message him on Instagram right after we're done this.
You are almost caught up. Dang.
Yeah, because that wasn't that too long ago.
I am. I like scrolled. Because I know I can't get them all anymore. I think I might be caught up. I see T Peddler say question, but there was no question follow. Oh, here it is. Okay, this will be the last one. Oh, it's another one about the I do not have a second event planned yet, but I will. I will. Class times is 8 or 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. 9 to 3 or 9 to 4. 9 to 3 or 9 to 4. I know we're starting at 9. Yeah, so I want to highlight this. I haven't found a question, so I guess we'll end with this. And I want to see what you guys have to say about it too. So like Diana's saying, I sell to Oregon, Washington, California all the time. And she is on the other coast and ships here. I feel like it's because of the different items we can source and they're not available like the stuff I'm finding here on the East Coast isn't available on the West Coast and vice versa. Like, do you guys feel like that a lot? Like, as far as like you're shipping far away, or like what's your input on that?
Yeah, because I was telling Kat, I live in what I call casserole country, very middle America. So a lot of that like farmhouse, homey, home goods type of stuff you can't get in South Florida, where I ship to a lot. But there are people that are what we call snowbirds, who go south in the winter but still want things from back home. So actually, South Florida is one of my main places I ship to, and Texas. Those are two of my highest volume as far as places.
Yeah, and I don't know. I actually don't pay that close of attention to what state stuff is going to, especially on Poshmark. It doesn't matter. And then a lot of the other clothing items, they'll just have like a flat cost, and I don't know, it doesn't vary that much. But I do find it interesting sometimes. Like, I remember one day I had 3 very distinct items, and I felt like the name of the person and the state like definitely lined up. And I told my husband, I'm like, okay, here's 3 names, 3 states, which item goes to each? And he was like, okay, that one goes there, that one goes there, that one goes there. Like, it very clearly lined up with the stereotypical, like what you would expect from that person. I can't think of an example right now, but I think I had like a pair of cowboy boots, and then I had these like 4-inch wedge Converse, like with like a design on the side. So they were like very distinct shoes. So
Yeah, I would say I send a good bit to California, probably because there's a lot of people who live there, but also maybe they can't get. I send a lot of golf clubs that way. I send a lot of golf clubs overseas, and Florida also buys a lot. All my golf clubs that sold in the last, I don't know, 3 days or 4 days have all been going to Florida, because it's starting to get, well, Kat, it's cold down there now, but I guess it's starting to maybe get a little bit warmer in South Florida. But yeah, but I send a lot of stuff over.
They're like 70. They were 25 degrees higher. I was talking to somebody that's in South Florida, and they're like, what, it's 50 there? I'm like, yeah, it's freezing. They're like, oh, it's 76 here. There's a big difference between South Florida and North Florida. It's like totally different.
I made that mistake on spring break one time. Went to the Panhandle. It was rainy and 50 degrees. Worst spring break of my life.
Yeah, the Panhandle's done. It's so close to Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah,
you know, like
it's Florida,
get that Georgia,
sure.
Alabama weather. All of Florida is not created equal. I promise you.
I learned that
we're
the hard
like
way.
so close to Georgia. All right, guys, I am going to go ahead. We'll let everybody say goodbye. And Richard and Mark have been dropping links the whole show, so definitely check these guys out if you haven't. Here is Drew to say goodbye.
Thank you, everybody, so much. Thank you, Kat, Julian, for having me on. To all the people that have already subscribed, I saw my phone going off quite a bit during the stream. I appreciate it very much. If you watch a couple videos, don't even sub. Watch a couple. If you don't like who I am, move on to the next. That's the great thing about YouTube is you find a thing you like, then you can find a very specific person to tell you about that thing that you like. So give me a shot.
Perfect. Here is Amber.
everybody. So a reminder, my channel is Amber Resells. And as I said at the beginning, 2 examples of videos you might find interesting are, recently I did one where I listed 200 items onto eBay, Facebook, and Poshmark, and I tracked where everything sold, listed at the same prices. So if you're interested to see where things sold, and a little bit more analytics about what things sold, I just checked 6 videos ago is when I uploaded that one. And then I just recently did one researching the top cowboy boot brands, and I consolidated 1,000 listings, the data on that, into a video. And that's the most recent video on my channel. So if those sound interesting, or data analytics, things like that, check out my channel.
Perfect. All right, Julian, do you want to say bye?
Sure. I mean, no, you don't. I'm sure. I just want to thank everybody for coming out in the chat. We always appreciate it. We had over 550. So thank you so much for being here. And always thank you for the guests for coming out here and talking. And it was an awesome show. And thanks to Kat for always having me as her co-host.
Thank you, Kat and Julian, for having us on.
Yeah. Thank you guys both for being here. I appreciate it. To all of you watching that come back every week over and over, thank you so much. Let me look real quick. Hold on, so I can tell you who's on next week. I'm never prepared for this part. I'm never prepared. I always have to look it up. Let's see. Oh, next week is Dante and Katie Reed separately, guys. Separately. Good. They will be our 2 guests. So that will be a great show. Dante, Prison to Profit, and Katie from Katie Reed. So we will see you guys next week with those two. I hope you guys have a great week. I will see you on Yvonne Thrifty Rich channel tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye, guys.